Greetings and welcome to the United Hotspot again. Good morning, good afternoon. I'm aboard. My name is Webb, and as always, we're here at exactly 11 a.m. to talk Manchester United. Today, our entry point is going to be one of the most important players at Manchester United, whose points have directly earned us, whose goals rather have directly earned us the most important points or the most points at Manchester United this season. Not just Manchester United, the entire Premier League. Scott McTominay's goals have earned more points than any single player in the Premier League. Welcome to the United Hotspot. My name is Webb, and again, always a pleasure to be here to talk about Manchester United as we look forward to this new dawn of Sir Jim Ratcliffe and Ineos. We are certainly being, of course, speculating on who will be sold in the summer, because that's part of the key things we expect to happen. Players to be sold if Manchester United is going to make the money to be able to sign players. We are in a sell to buy situation, and it is now that the man who calls the shots is about to be confirmed officially, and the work has got to begin. Well, I'm going to read for you an interesting a fact, an interesting stats, and the stats are proven that Scott McTominay's winner at Aston Villa means his goals have now been worth more points than any other players in the Premier League this season. McTominay connected, of course, with Diogo Dalot's laser accurate cross and flashed a bullet header beyond Emiliano Martinez to secure a hugely valuable away win for Erik ten Hag's side in the West Midlands. United's shirt number 39 has 7 top-flight goals in 2023 and 2024 this season, that is more than any other red, and those strikes have won 12 points for us, almost 30% of our total. Guys, I love giving credit to people. Let's give a hand clap. A hand clap to Scott McTominay. A hand clap to Scott McTominay. He deserves it. Maximum respect, Scotty. Maximum respect. Now, his goals have not only given us the most points by any player, not just at United, but across the league. They have also confused us. I think the Manchester United is selling, or is there a player we are going to keep? Because, I mean, you don't score the most important goals like that, and you're sold D2. He's a young boy, by the way. I'm old. I'm way older than I'm quite older than Christian Eriksen. Interesting. The February 14th of 1992, Valentine's Day in 1992, 32 years ago, is when Christian Eriksen was born. Happy birthday to you. By the way, it's a day of love. It's a Valentine's Day. I should have put on this red, by the way. My pants are black, my shorts are black. So it would be a good Valentine's Day match, red and black. Yeah, I think that would be a good idea for me to put it on. And so that I look Valentine's. Not so. I think I should. Yeah, well, anyway, let's get into this Scott McTominay talk. So Scott McTominay is top of the talk for Manchester United now, really, because we are debating on whether we should keep him or should we sell him in the summer. Because the reality is right now, if we sold Scott McTominay, if we put him up on the market, remember, we rejected 30 million. Erik ten Hag said no to 30 million pounds, if you do recall, when West Ham wanted both Scott and Harry Maguire. Right now, they are confusing us. Harry Maguire was the best player in the last game, player of the Premier League in November. Harry Maguire is clearly making us change our minds about him completely, all of us. Scott McTominay is doing the same. Stats don't lie, they're proving it. So, question is, was it a right decision for the players, but also the club, to turn down offers from West Ham back then? But also, now that Scott is scoring this, we do with him. Do we cash in on him? Because now, if before he was a 30 million pounds player, now Scotty can I think attract 40 million pounds the least. We can get 40 million pounds, and that's proper profit. The least we can get from him. So do we cash in on him now, or do we hope on the goals he has scored and use that to say, you know what, you're not moving a muscle, we are sticking with you? It's a very interesting place to be in. It's a very confusing place, because it's for the good reasons. Because either way, it's a win-win. Because if a player is performing like this, hungry as Scott, and he stays with us, good thing for us. But also, if we cash in on him, we are getting money that we need to buy players. There's so many players we are being linked with, including the new one, Pedro, now. So it's a very interesting position for the team to be in. But also, his fate is the same. The situation is the same with Harry Maguire. Do we sell Harry Maguire now, or do we keep him in the long term. Again, very confusing set for us to be in as a club, but it's a good confusion for us to have. But in all reality, for me, what I think is either way, it would make sense for Man United. Either way, if we kept him as a squad player, I think we could have value. The beauty is he's not on a huge wage. So if we kept him, for me, it would be okay. It wouldn't be the worst decision to make because he has worked his way up, he has worked his ass off, and he has warranted a stay. He has earned the right to stay, which for me is respectable enough. If we cashed in on him, we would make money, and if we put that money to good use, now that, and we are told that United has, it's now official, United is prioritizing Dan Ashworth as the director of football, money to good use with Dan Ashworth dictating where we take it, how we for being a bench player, would you rather settle for that? You be a bench player during your best form, or would you want to be playing more? Would you be pushing to be a starter and playing more football? So for as a player, because the decision is not one-sided, it's not just United to think we want you, you stay. No, we don't want you, we sell you. The player as well has got something to say in this because it's him, it's his future. He's only 26. That's the prime of a player. He should be playing the most football of his life now. So for Scott McTominay as a person, the best thing for him, I believe, would be living and playing more football, getting more minutes. If he went to a team like West Ham, I think Scott McTominay has got the character, the potential to even be captain of a team like West Ham, proper replacement for Declan Rice. So from his perspective, I think the best thing would be for him to leave and seek a player, because if you look at most of the teams, some of the teams above us, not most maybe, teams like Aston Villa, teams like, okay, West Ham is not above us, but it's around us, West Ham, Tottenham Hotspur. If Scott McTominay joined any of those teams, Scott McTominay proper starter, and he actually could even be a captain of any of those teams if he joined any of them. So does he stay with us and be a bench player? He comes off the bench and impacts games and, earns his money and is okay because this is his childhood club. He's from the academy and all. Or would he have the ambition to go on? Honestly, for me, if Scott McTominay wants to stay and be a bench player, it would show that he does not have enough ambition, because it would be difficult. It would be extremely difficult for Scott McTominay to grow and become a starter at Manchester United, to convince anyone that he can be a starter, because he may not have the natural skill and talent to do that. More so if you've got players like Kobe Maino and all these other young players we are being linked with. I think it shows ambition if Scott is saying, I want to go where I'm playing more. And most footballers would do that. Most footballers would want to play. All a footballer wants, it's not even the money, because the money they have, by the time you get to the Premier League and get a contract with any Premier League player, you've got enough money for you to be okay for the rest of your life. All they want is to keep playing football, to be playing every weekend, every other day. You're out there and starting and getting minutes on the pitch. That is, for me, what Scott McTominay, if he has got ambition, should be looking to do. So if that said, the best decision for him then would be away from Manchester United, because with what we are rebuilding, with where we are headed, Scott McTominay is never going to be looked at as a starter in a midfield that has got Kobe Maino, Bruno Fernandes, and whoever, Casemiro, or whichever Casemiro replacement we'll get going forward. So I honestly think, for me, in the player's perspective, the best decision would be for him to leave, to move on, and time. In the club's perspective, again, for me, it's either way. He's not on a crazy wage. We're not paying him £200,000 per week to come off the bench and score a few goals. He's earning 60,000 quid per week. Really, if it's not a lot of money, if he's okay with that, and maybe an extra 20,000, 80,000 pounds, and he's a bench player, it's okay for us to spend that on him, because we also need players who will come off the bench and have the hunger to want to play and score and impact on games. But also, if we cashed in on him, if we sold him and we got £40 million, that's a very, very good figure for a player who was written off, for a player who is from the academy, a player who not many felt was good enough to play for Man United. So it would still be a win for Manchester United. So it works either way, but for him as a player, I think the best decision for me would be for him to seek more playing time elsewhere. Then it's the same case with Harry Maguire. Harry Maguire has rejuvenated himself in ways we may not have imagined. I think at any point in time when he started heading downwards in terms of his performances at United. But Harry Maguire is 30, and 30-year-old player, and we need a few of these experienced players in the United team. Maguire has got attributes of a leader. Even at his worst, he has got a good mentality, a good attitude, and he looks like he's hungry now. I was saying it here when he started bouncing back. I said he's never going to go back to those memes he was doing. Never going to happen. I think he probably had personal issues off the pitch back then that we may never know, maybe until he retires. But I think of all our centre backs, beside Lisandro Martinez, the one other centre back I think we must keep is Harry Maguire now, because he's improving day in and day out, and perhaps we're even yet to be seeing his best. He's more motivated, and Maguire is a good footballer. He's a good centre back when he's good. Erling Haaland, who is rated as the best striker in football today, said the best defender or the hardest defender he has faced is Harry Maguire. It's not by mistake that Erling Haaland said that. Because of his size, his timing, he's difficult to play against. So when he's good, Maguire is a good player. He's 30, that's a prime age. But also with our rebuild, you need that bit of experience from him to help, these other young players who will come around as we go into the rebuild. So for me, I think keeping Maguire, I think is okay. He has got a long contract. I think his contract runs out in 2027 or thereabout. I think, let me even be sure. Harry Maguire contract, I think it runs about in 2027 or thereabout. It runs out at the end of 2025. So for me, I think we can keep him to go into the final year of his contract. I think we can keep him around with his form and improvement. I think it's okay for us to keep Bruno, and instead of selling Maguire, we need to sell Varane, because Maguire is not as injury prone as Varane, but Maguire is proving that he's actually looking better. He's giving us more than Varane is consistently. Before that injury that almost halted his progress, he was the best player in the league, but then he returns from the injury and he starts where he stopped. You see that Maguire looks like he will be looking good in every game. He's looking calm, he's looking organized, he's looking more confident. His body language, he faces the fans more. He's interactive, he's talking, he's not shy. I feel like he's getting back, and for me, for that reason, we can keep him at least towards the end of his contract. So for me, keep Maguire. Unless we got a club that is offering us we signed him for 80 million. If we get a club that wants to give us maybe over 50 million, or 50 or 60 million. For me, I honestly think we can keep Maguire. We can keep Harry Maguire because of his improvement, which for me. Greetings and welcome to the United Hotspot again. Good morning. Sorry. Afternoon on the board. My name is Webb, and as always, we're here at exactly 11 a.m. to talk matches. Sorry. Well, sometimes it's good to listen to your voice. Yeah? Anyway, sorry, that was a mistake. But yeah, so with Harry Maguire, I think we can keep Harry Maguire. We can afford to be patient with him, because I honestly think we're not going to see him going back into those haulers and whatever he was making back then. I think he's only getting better by the day. That's my honest opinion. But of course, this will be all to the new director of football to decide, because we are bringing in someone new. Of course, Dan Ashworth is being spoken about as the top candidate now. He's beginning to be extremely likely. Whereas to Newcastle United, he's open to the idea. He's extremely open to the idea of moving to Manchester United, at least according to what we get, which I think is a good thing, because there are not so many good directors of football if you look around honestly, and that's why we are going for him. But also I like the fact that Sir Jim Ratcliffe is looking to people who are tried and tested, because I mean, you don't go to again try and gamble with new people and wait forever. I don't think so. I think Eric Ten Hag, and where he is, just needs a few good players who have got good people who have got the experience around him, and his whatever he's doing will be will be made easy. What his work will be made easier, and things will come easy for him. So for me, that's my 2 cents on these two players. Scott McTominay, either way, works for United if he's not trying to demand for a huge wage. But for him, best decision would be for him to go and seek more playing time. For Harry Maguire, I think we can keep him. The one player we would, unless we are getting 50 million or more for Harry Maguire, but we can keep him for now. The one player we need to sell is Marcus Rashford. We also, I think, need to sell Casemiro and get a proper backup, because with Casemiro, we can get again some more good money from him, but also Casemiro really, he's aging, and his best is way behind him. We will not get Casemiro back to the levels he gave us last season. So for me, those are the players I think we might want to think of selling first before we think about Harry Maguire. Hotspot. That's it from me, guys. I'll be back later with another video. Let me monitor the situation with Luke Shaw as we do look ahead. The next video I drop, of course, will be looking ahead to our game. Again, a very important game for us, but how do we handle this game as we do look to build on the good run that we are beginning to build as Manchester United. This is the United Hotspot. My name is Webb. This was a quick, short opinion on this whole Scott McTominay situation. Give me your 2 cents in the comment section and subscribe, guys. Let me catch you later.